I'm Sarai. I am the HR and admin director for Northside Swim Academy, and I will be going over the Trello task updates. Um, this is just going to be a tutorial showing you how to input these tasks. So let's go ahead and get started. I know this does look a little complicated, and believe me, it definitely took me a couple weeks to get it started, but it'll be okay, I promise. So, thinking of Trello, when we update tasks, we have to input all of this information so we know who's on the task, who, what their role is, when the start date is, the task, which labels, what goes at the top of the instructions, and any additional instructions you need to add on to that task for that one person. So scrolling over to this side, this is who adds in the Trello task. So more than likely it's going to be Johnny, but I know we are starting to expand that by more than likely having you guys start inputting those tasks yourself. So in the future, if you so happen to add a task, you would put your name here saying that you were the one who created the task. In this slot, you have to put who it's for and or which area it's for. This area, we're not worried about this area right here. We're more worried about down here. So for example, this is Idea's task, or Jessica, or whoever you're assigning that task to. This is the board you're going to use. So like, for example, if you're an admin, you would use the admin board, or if you're a PPC, you would be a part of the PPC board. This is the area of the task. I'll come back to this in a second. But this is the roles. This is like the name of the title of who's doing the task. So Idea is considered PPC. So this is the role or area that you would add the task under. Start date, you would just add the start date. That's pretty easy. The task title, this is what you're going to call that task. These are the labels that you would add on there. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. The preface, this is the bold and italicized part of the Trello task that is more than likely at the top, just basically giving you the starter information of what needs to be done or what needs to be accomplished. In the instructions tab, this is what you're going to put under the preface. And a lot of you know what this is, and I'll show it to you in a second. Links to attach. These are the links that we add onto your Trello task. So like if your task requires you to go through the communication log or for example, here, the communication log or the rec log or any type of log or document that we have on the Google Drive that you'll need to use or in that task. The notes to admin, this is just stuff for the admin to, like, if you have a task and it has to have a specific instruction for it, this is what you would have on there. So let me move this over. Let me bring this up. So when I am updating a Trello task, let's say you need to have a Trello task added, you would go here and request addition. So this means that this needs to be added onto a Trello task. So let me just go to idea for an example. See if I can find her here. So let's say we need to add a task and it's called the dead lead document. So I would come over here, I would add a card. I like to just copy and paste stuff. So I'll come here, copy, paste, add card. I don't need that extra card at the bottom. Oh well, alright. So now we have the task on here for her. So I'm going to open this up and it's going to come out to a blank document like this. So we've already done 3 parts of the Trello task updates. We found who the task needs to go to, what board it needs to be in. We realized that it needs to be added onto Trello, and we know that her role is the PPC Assistant Director. Scrolling over. Now we have to input the date. You just come to dates. Let's say she's starting it today. It would come here. And so for this task, the labels that need to be on there is working in progress. So we would just come over to labels and say it's in progress. And then there's no secondary label. Scooting over more. Let's say hypothetically this was her preface. So you would come here. Like I said, I like to copy and paste things. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Copy. You would come over here, go to the description. Oh, all right. Copy. Paste. Let's just get rid of this. So let's say the start date is 3/6. That would be today. And then these would be the instructions in the preface. So we would bold and italicize it, and then that's the introduction part of the Trello task. And then let's say for the instructions tab, let's just scroll down on one that has instructions. This will be the part of the instructions. So we would copy that and then come under the preface and we would input it as a instruction. So then when she opens a task, she sees what needs to be done for the task, so the introduction to the instructions, and then the tasks that go with the instructions, if that makes sense. So then, just to make sure we assign her to that task, we add members, and because it's ideas, we'll go here, and now she's a part of that task. But now let's say we needed to add somebody else to that task. You can always add multiple people if needed. And then they would be a part of that task. And then they would get the notification that they were part of that task. And then let's say if you needed links, you would just go over to the Google Drive and you would just copy them down in here. So when they're working on this task, all they have to do is click on the document and then they can work on the task as it instructs them to. And in this area, if there is something extra that needs to be gone over for the admin for that specific task, like for the updating of that task, it would be here. So like let's say I assign this task to her on Friday the 1st, but today's the 6th and it still needs to be worked on. So then I would just come to the date and I would change it and update it so it's current. And then that's just how you update the Trello tasks. Let me go ahead and delete this. Archive. So that is how you update the Trello tasks. Once the Trello tasks have been added, this will be the tab that it goes for. And then if there's no action needed, it would be here. If it's already a task on there but it needs to be changed, you would put added but needs to be changed. And then any changes that needed to happen, you would put in these areas. And then whoever is updating that Trello task, or whoever needs to update that Trello task, will look on here and update that task as instructed. But aside from that, it isn't as hard as I thought it was. If you do have any questions, please let me or Johnny know. But aside from that, that is how you do the Trello tasks.